Hello and welcome to another RDJ Rambles with me, RDJ. What are we rambling about today? Well, today is a day I've been looking forward to for 9 years. There is a new Joe Hill book out called King's Sorrow, a near 900-page behemoth. I think we know what he's been doing for the last 9 years. So let's sit down and have a little chat about Joe Hill. So firstly, who is Joe Hill? Well, Joe's full name is Joe Hillstrom King. Yes, Joe King. He is Stephen's son, and he called himself Joe Hill so people didn't confuse him with his father, or he wasn't living off his father's name. But just take a look at this picture here. I mean, yes, there's no denying whose father that boy is. But he's actually a really good writer in himself as well. He's nowhere near as prolific as his old man. He does a mixture of stories and graphic novels. If you've ever watched Lock and Key on Netflix, he did the graphic novels for them, and they're well worth a look. But I'm going to recommend one book for you right now, an entry book into Joe Hill. So again, sit down, let's have a chat. So what book am I going to recommend? Well, Joe has done, off the top of my head, Heart-Shaped Box, Horns, the one I'm going to talk about. He's done Strange Weather, which is a collection of shorts, and he's done The Fireman, which was his most recent. The one I'm going to talk about is his middle book, if you will, Nosferatu. Now, firstly, a lot of people say that Joe writes just like his old man, and with his short stories, possibly. With his full novels, he is a very different kettle of fish. Stephen quite often follows a quite formulaic path, a traditional path, beginning, middle, end, happy ending. With a lot of Joe's work, there's a hopelessness, a void, a blackness, a darkness in his work that, believe it or not, isn't there in King's World. In King's World, there's always that little bit of hope, but in Joe's world, not always, and it can be that little bit more dark to read than a lot of his dad's. But why is Nosferatu his best? So Nosferatu was Hill's third book, and he's finding his voice, simply put. He hasn't done a bad book. His weakest is probably The Fireman, if I'm going to be really picky, but he's not done a bad one. But he's created worlds in Nosferatu. It starts off with a little girl called Vic, or the Brat, and it follows her life. Now, Vic is not an ordinary little girl. She is a super creative and can create bridges with her mind to take her to places where she needs to go. Combine this with an almost vampiric bad guy called Charlie Manx, and horror and brilliance ensues. It's not a massive book. It's certainly not the behemoth that I was talking about with King's Sorrow, but it is a very long book, or a longer book. And it certainly pulls you into that world. It follows an entire lifespan almost. I think it was about 20 or 30 years altogether. And it is so good. You are pulled into it. The writing's phenomenal. The descriptions are brilliant. The characters, one thing his dad is phenomenal at. Hill's just as good with the characters in this. But again, like I said, there's a difference to his dad's work. There is a hopelessness, a bleakness, a darkness. And that darkness is quite addictive. And once you're in that world, you're kind of stuck there. It is absolutely phenomenal. There was a TV show of this released a few years ago. Can't remember on what channel now. It was okay, but it wasn't the standard that this is. But if you want to watch that first to get a vibe for it, feel free. But the book for me, as I've said before, is always the way to go. So, Joe Hill, brand new book out today called King's Sorrow. It's bleeding huge. If you've not read his work before, please take a look at Nosferatu. I'm sure that will get you into Hill's world quite nicely. And as a nice little Easter egg, he does almost tie in with a King multiverse, or King Hill multiverse, because there's a few little nods to his dad's work in there as well. Not in a clunky way, just in a nice clever way where the fans will go, nice, see what you did there. So Joe Hill, Nosferatu is the one to read. If you've read it all, don't forget his brand new book, first one in 9 years, is out today. RDJ out.